Top 10 Best Places to Visit in Kenya. Hello travelers, welcome to another exciting edition on Travel Fantasy and thanks for watching. Today we shall be talking about the top 10 amazing places to visit in Kenya. Kenya, the name is almost synonymous with the word safari. Perhaps no other place on the planet conjures such a spirit of adventure and romance. The diversity of things to do dazzles all who visit, and viewing the country's abundant wildlife tops the list. See throngs of wild beasts thundering across the savannah during the Great Migration in the Masai Mara. Come to eye with an elephant in Amboseli, or marvel at Lake Nakuru, flecked with thousands of flamingos. In these sun-soaked lands, ancient tribes such as the Masai, Kikuyu, and Samburu retain their traditional customs, living in relatively harmony with the natural world. Beyond the world's famous safari parks lies a trove of coastal treasures. You can snorkel and dive fish-rich coral reefs, relax on pearly beaches, experience the melting pot of cultures and cuisines in Mombasa and Malindi, and explore tropical islands steeped in Swahili history. Topographically, Kenya is stunning. Surrounded by calderas and mountain ranges, the Great Rift Valley divides the country. To the east of this sweeping valley, you can climb the snow-cloaked equatorial peaks of Mount Kenya and fish for trout in crystal-clear streams. Hell's Gate National Park harbors obsidian caves and hisses with natural geysers and hot springs. To experience the romance of Kenya's colorful colonial history captured in the film Out of Africa, head to Nairobi. The bustling capital is the gateway to one of the world's most evocative and exciting travel destinations. Do you plan on going there? Before we proceed, if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on post notification so you don't miss any of our updates. Now relax as we bring to you 10 best places that will make your trip memorable. Number 10. Masai Mara National Reserve. Masai Mara National Reserve, also known as Masai Mara, is one of the world's most magnificent game reserves. Bordering Tanzania, the Mara is the northern extension of the Serengeti and forms a wildlife corridor between the two countries. It's named after the Statusker, red-cloaked Masai people who live in the park and graze their animals here as they have done for centuries. In their language, Mara means molted, perhaps a reference to the play of light and shadow from the acacia trees and cloud-studded skies on the vast grasslands. The park is famous for great migration, when thousands of wild beasts, zebra and Thompson's gazelle travel to and from the Serengeti from July through October. In the Mara River, throngs of hippos and crocodiles lurk. The park is also known for providing excellent predatory sightings, thanks to its relatively large population of lions, cheetah and leopard, especially in the dry months from December through February. Thanks to the park's altitude, the weather here is mild and gentle year all round. Number 9. Lamu Island. Ringed by sandbags, bobbing shoals, mangrove swamps and the lapping waters of the Indian Ocean on the eastern edge of Kenya, Little Lamu Island still plays host to one of the most historical rich towns in the nation. Named appropriately Lamu Old Town, this historic port of whitewashed facades and tropical timber wood houses is tagged by UNESCO for its exposition of traditional Swahili building methods. But that's not it, because the villages of Shila and Mantodoni further along the coast of Lamu also boast a series of fascinating ports and mosques from centuries gone by, while the age-old celebrations of Maulid are a must for any culture vultures. Number 8. Amboseli National Reserve. Crowned by Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest peak, Amboseli National Reserve is one of Kenya's most popular tourist parks. The name Amboseli comes from a Maasai word meaning salty dust, an apt description for the park's parched conditions. The reserve is one of the best places in Africa to view large herds of elephants up close. Other wildlife commonly spotted in the park includes big cats, such as lions and cheetah, as well as giraffe, impala, eland, waterbuck, gazelle, and more than 600 species of birds. Nature lovers can explore 5 different habitats here, ranging from the dried-up bed of Lake Amboseli, wetlands with sulfur springs, savanna, and woodlands. Look for the local Maasai people who live in the area around the park. Number 7. Nairobi. Sprawling, steel-clad Nairobi isn't the prettiest of African cities at first glance, granted, But there's real charm and energy to be found in this nigh on 4 million strong capital in the southern heart of Kenya for sure. For starters, the town is famed as the only great metropolis with a bona fide safari park smack bang within city limits. Just check out the Nairobi National Park, where giraffes meet cheetahs against the meanders of the Mbagati River. Add to that a series of great central markets that bubble with East African hot pots and foods, along with one of Kenya's best nightlife scenes, and bingo, you've got yourself a town that's really worth the stop over. Number 6. Tsavo Park. Kenya's largest park, Tsavo, is sliced in two, Tsavo West and Tsavo East. Together, these parks comprise 4% of the country's total area and encompass rivers, waterfalls, savanna, volcanic hills, a massive lava rock plateau, and an impressive diversity of wildlife. Midway between Nairobi and Mombasa, Tsavo East is famous for photo-worthy sightings of large elephant herds rolling and bathing in red dust. The palm-fringed Galana River twists through the park, providing excellent game viewing and a lush counterpoint to the red arid plains. Other highlights here include the Yatta Plateau, the world's longest lava flow, Mundanda Rock, and the Lugard Falls, which spill into rapids and crocodile-filled pools. Tsavo West is wetter and topographically more varied, with some of the most beautiful scenery in the northern reaches of the park. Highlights here are Mzima Springs, a series of natural springs with large populations of hippos and crocodiles, Chaimu Crater, a great spot for seeing birds of prey, and Gwila Rhino Sanctuary. Wildlife is not as easy to see in Tsavo West because of the dense vegetation, but the beautiful scenery more than compensates. Number 5. Hell's Gate National Park. Sat midway between the city of Nairobi and the backcountry town of Nakuru, Hell's Gate covers a humble 68 square kilometers in the midst of southern Kenya. A place of real natural beauty, it's defined by startling and unforgettable rock formations that rise like splinters from the scrub-dressed ground. Considered by many to have been inspiration from the Disney film The Lion King, the area has high escarpments and deep valleys carved through its terrain, each bearing curious monikers like Fish's Tower and the Great Mbata. Between the gorges and canyons, you can expect to see wild beasts and vultures, African buffalo, and Thompson's gazelle, not to mention packs of lions to boot. Number 4. Samburu, Buffalo Springs, and Shaba National Reserves. On the banks of the palm-lined Owasso Niro River, Samburu, Buffalo Springs, and Shaba Reserves lie in an arid region in the remote north of Kenya. Shaba National Reserve is one of two areas where George and Joy Adamson raised Elsa the lioness. Made famous in the film Born Free, the wildlife in all three reserves depends on the waters of the river to survive, and many species are specially adapted to the parched conditions, such as Grevy's zebras, Somali ostriches, and Gerenukes, the long-necked antelope that stand on two rear legs to reach the fresh shoot on upper tree limbs. A top attraction in Samburu Reserve is the Sarara singing wells. Local watering holes where Samburu warriors sing traditional songs while howling water for their cattle to drink. You might also be rewarded with sightings of big cat and wild dogs. Number 3. Mombasa. With overtones as exotic as nearby Zanzibar and a history as deep as any of East Africa's cities, Mombasa is an enigmatic and wonderful place to visit. Swahili roots and traditions die hard, even after the influence of the erstwhile Portuguese and Arabic rulers raised colonial edifices and grand mosques between the streets. Take some time to wander the European-flavored old town, sample the spicy Indian-influenced curries, and take in the energy of Mombasa port. But don't linger too long because the beaches await, going from the shimmering white stretches along Bamburi to the palm tree groves of Shanzu. Number 2. Lake Nakuru National Park. Lake Nakuru National Park in central Kenya is famous for its huge flocks of pink flamingos. The birds throng on Lake Nakuru itself, one of the Rift Valley soda lakes that comprises almost a third of the park's area. The park was established in 1961, and more than 450 species of birds have been recorded here, as well as a rich diversity of other wildlife. Lions, leopards, warthogs, waterbucks, pythons, and white rhinos are just some of the animals you might see, and the landscapes range from sweeping grasslands bordering the lake to rocky cliffs and woodland. The park also protects the largest Euphorbia candelabrum forest in Africa. These tall, branching succulents are endemic to the region and provide an interesting textural element to the arid landscapes. Number 1. Malindi. Ah, Malindi, a town of tin shack homes and old mosque towers from centuries gone by, where the sea has never been so warm and the sand has never been so white. Yep, this humble little trading town on Kenya's Indian Ocean coast has risen and risen in recent decades to become the favorite choice of European and American visitors looking to taste the sun and salt water of East Africa. Monuments to the great Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama Pillar still mark the center of the place, a testimony to its long past, while strips of palm-backed beaches and resorts, pretty piazzas and even pizza restaurants bring in the biggest crowds. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe to our channel and turn on post notification.